for last. So let's start at the top with this article. This is a FIDE article, so let me put this up here. Let me change this. Let's go here. Okay, so here we go. All right, so this is an article by Chess Tech Beyond the Board. This is an interview that Arkady Dvorkovich gave to Danil Dubov. It was in Russian, obviously, but there is some stuff written here in English. So here we go. I am not used to discussing politics. During his frank interview with Danil Dubov, FIDE president Arkady Dvorkovich gave a lot of insight into his proactive ways of thinking and leading. He explained how the new FIDE management functions and why it needs more sponsors outside of Russia. This is the second and final part of excerpts by Stefan Loeffler. All right, so after part one of our excerpts focus on competitions, this one deals with FIDE's functioning, finance, and online chess policy. The excerpts are from an interview FIDE President Dvorkovich gave in August on the Twitch channel of the Moscow Chess Federation. Danil Dubov, a smart young grandmaster, asked the questions. Okay, before we keep going, smart young grandmaster, okay, like, that's a little bit weird. Like, I mean, young grandmaster, like, you know, energetic or something, but smart, it's kind of a weird wording. It's just weird to word it that way. So I don't know why he's wording it like it's. I mean, you could say someone's smart, but it seems weird. It's weird wording. Anyway, let's keep going. Keep in mind, smart will play a role later. We're gonna have a conversation about the word smart later on, because there's another thing I'm gonna be showing as well. Thank you to Jurlev for the tier 1. The more than 2-hour long video is now available with English translations. So let's keep scrolling. How FIDE functions. When Dubov pointed out that FIDE has taken a lot of decisions recently and asked about the decision mechanisms, Dvorkovich started to explain. In February, we adopted a new charter. The General Assembly is the highest body. Important decisions on the rules or elections or what commissions we can have can only be taken by the General Assembly. This is, I believe, like the United Nations, every country has one vote. So that is what the General Assembly means. Okay, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's what it is. We can take decisions quickly because the new charter allows the council to vote online. The commissions deal with the field of responsibility. They consist of volunteers and take more time for their discussions. Then there is the management of about 20 people, including me, that operates 24/7. The only person besides me from the management team who is also on the FIDE Council is Zhu Chen, our treasurer. As president, I sometimes have to decide when a situation is not covered by the regulations or an appeals committee can't agree. This refers, of course, to the Olympiad. I've only taken one such decision when I interrupted the candidates. The interview was taken a few weeks before Dvorkovich's decision to declare Russia and India co-winners of the online chess Olympiad. So that's a fair point. Let's keep going. Prominent advisors. When Dubov praises Dvorkovich for having Vladimir Kramnik, Vishy Anand, and Judith Polgar on his team, the FIDE president corrected that all three joined it as advisors only after the elections. Their advice helps me a lot. Vladimir Kramnik criticized me for holding the candidates in March, but that doesn't stop us from cooperating. I talk with Kramnik nearly every week. We discuss the Legends of Chess event on which FIDE cooperated with Chess24. I personally invited the participants. Vladimir advised on the format. We also discussed his charity project in Russia, of course. When it comes to chess, we mostly discuss about AI-related chess. Vladimir has become a leading expert. He is constantly in touch with programmers to test hypotheses, and at FIDE, we must understand where AI is heading. He also works with youngsters in India and Russia, and we were trying to figure out a good system. With Vishy Anand, I am not talking as often, once a month. When I need his advice, I contact him. He is a very wise person and quick to react. I think Vishy is the only person who can find a peaceful solution for the power struggle in the All India Chess Federation. Okay, that's actually that's a little bit strong wording. Power struggle in the All India Chess Federation. That's kind of spicy. Let's keep going. Judith Polgar is a different story. She is much more active than me in chess and education. Unfortunately, in this area, we're not doing a great job because we are understaffed. I discuss women's chess with her, and her viewpoint is different from the majority because she used to play in men's events. Judith's critical eye is important. We need people who criticize and not just heap praise on us. I always enjoy my visits to Budapest, where she holds a great festival every autumn. Budapest was the only bid for the Chess Olympiad 2024, and Judith is a driving force. I like this. I like what's said here, but I do wish she had been more I wish she had been more forthcoming. So it says her viewpoint is different. It's not really clear to me what her viewpoint is exactly. So it would have been nice if there was a little bit of clarification on this specific point, because I wasn't aware that her take is different than most people's take. So I would have liked some more clarification on that, but it is what it is, not a problem. We keep going. Satovsky's Facebook page. When Dubov pointed out that he and other professionals get their news from FIDE by following the Facebook page of FIDE General Director Emil Satovsky, Dvorkovich gave a surprising reply. People like to discuss various topics, but I am not used to it. Probably this has to do with my former work in the Russian government, when social media could not be used to discuss political matters. There could be only official news or official decisions. We have to work out some internal procedures. Emil is not FIDE's voice. What he publishes is not necessarily in line with FIDE, although in most cases it is. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, former work for the Russian government. Of course, as you guys know, Arkady Dvorkovich was one of the leading economists in the Putin regime, in the government at the Kremlin. So, I guess that's what he's referring to. I won't say anything further on that, but it's interesting to see the way that he says Emil's take is not like FIDE's take. When I would actually argue, I don't actually read Emil's Facebook page that frequently, but I would argue that when I'm expecting something to be said, or I have some interest or something I want to ask, the person that I always ask is Emil. So it's interesting that he says that Emil does not speak for FIDE, when nearly everyone in the world kind of would disagree with him there. So I find that it's interesting, because even to me, I think of Emil as, when I want to hear something, Emil is the guy that I look to. Watch your mouth, Hikaru. What? I mean, come on, please. Yeah. Okay. No, he does. He says Emil is not FIDE's voice. He says that very clearly. Shall I get more involved and communicate more often with a larger audience myself, to the detriment of other things, because miracles don't happen? It's a difficult question. We'll look for some balance, but for forbidding Emil or VRL Bulagan, the executive director who's publishing about Moldavian politics, to communicate is kind of strange. There just has to be a social media policy, as in all official organizations. People must know where official news and decisions are and where is personal opinion. Okay, that's the FIDE president that you're talking about. What are you guys talking about exactly? I play chess. There's a difference, you guys. I don't work for FIDE, so I can say whatever I want. Transparent bidding. In the end of 2018, France offered to organize a candidates tournament on condition that Maxime Vachier-Lagrave can participate. But I can't give such a guarantee irrespective of results. He has to come really close to qualifying. That is why they didn't submit a bid. Besides, France wanted it without a tender. I think that is not transparent and simply wrong. Organizers shall compete to get an event, even if that wasn't the case recently. This I agree with. This is a fair point. You guys can be like, oh, right after he reads this, he recants. He's got to go and agree with what FIDE says. But on this part, I agree with Dvorkovich 100%. Because it looks like France wanted the event, but they just want to make a bid and get it, as opposed to there being an open process where many different people could bid. So in this one, I think what Dvorkovich says, 100% agree with it. Absolutely right. Russian affairs. Now I think this is going to get interesting. I haven't read this yet, so this is all the first time for me too. Russian affairs. Asked about the relationship between FIDE and the Russian Chess Federation, Dvorkovich reveals that I even use their office because FIDE doesn't have its own office in Moscow. I can't help rooting for the Russian team, but I will never give Russia any preference. The real problem is that most of FIDE's sponsors are from Russia, and this is a great challenge for me and the management team. By the end of this presidential cycle in summer 2022, we should have a more balanced situation. Currently, it's 80-20 for Russian sponsors. It was 95-5 when I took office. We have started to get traction with international companies, and we'll be glad if by 2022, the portion will be more like 50-50. I see this as being an important part of my job. It is important from an image standpoint and with regards to our financial well-being. Okay, so what I would say, yeah, we can read the next part before I get into that, though. While I think this is a good thing, obviously it's hard to tell what the current situation is, because with what's going on, there are not over-the-board tournaments. But I still would argue that all the vast majority of events I've played in, even in 2019, it still felt like there were a lot more Russian sponsors than anywhere else. And most of the events that I competed in, it felt like World Rapid and Blitz, for example, or the candidates. These events are still being in Russia. So we'll see going forward whether it ends up being like that or not. But I'm still a little bit skeptical at the moment when they say it's 80-20, because I'm a little bit skeptical of those numbers. Let's keep going. FIDE sponsors. Okay. As international sponsors, Dvorkovich mentioned Coca-Cola and the French gas and oil company Total, but the list of Russian sponsors is longer. The Uyghur Autonomous District, that I believe is that Khanty-Mansiysk? I think that's Khanty-Mansiysk, Siberia. The energy grid Rossetti, that actually is a big company. The nuclear plant builder Rosatom, the food retailer Magnus, the philanthropist Alexander Simonovsky, and his company Simaland that backs the candidates tournament. Dvorkovich said, I hope there will be more tournaments outside of Russia. Russia will help keep organizing chess and can be a backup solution if we don't find another country. The former FIDE management made many momentary decisions with companies and governments that were predominantly from one region, the Caucasus. It's not good for stability, promotion, and publicity. Fair point. We have only started to move from zero marketing to real marketing, but it has only been happening during the last couple of months. When is the worst period for such negotiations? When all the companies have other things to worry about. There is still a long way. Back in 2018, we didn't even have real figures to show our potential sponsors. There was nothing to pitch. Now we have presentations that meet the expectations of partners by 50%, not 100%. But 50% is definitely better than 0%. Fair. Dealing with Iran. Okay, wow. This keeps going. Asked about pairings between players from Israel and Iran, Dvorkovich elaborated the non-pairing rule was an unspoken one. It was informally applied by arbiters, and it still exists in unofficial tournaments. In FIDE tournaments, it's impossible now. It's impossible now, following a decision by the FIDE Council. But as we don't have a General Assembly decision, it is more a political than a legal issue. We have a clear policy for individual tournaments, but not yet for the teams. We have to make a statement before the Chess Olympiad. Again, a very tough, a very messy topic, obviously, which I'm not going to talk about at all. So the C word. Wait, what is it? Oh, yes, okay. Dubov left the role of interviewer when he started talking about cheating in online competitions. When he told, I play Title Tuesday every week, I can compete with Grishuk, but I cannot compete with the master from Kazakhstan, the seasoned diplomat intervened immediately. Let's not offend Kazakhstan. Oh, yeah, I mean, we don't want to offend Lionel Messi, of course. And then made it clear that he cares. Actually, that's out of context the way I said Lionel Messi. But anyway, and then made it clear that he cares a lot about the subject. Dvorkovich revealed that ahead of the online Olympiad, which was going on at the time of this interview, Chess.com had alerted FIDE about registered players who had been caught cheating. Dvorkovich didn't want to use the C word, instead spoke about persons of interest. We contacted the Federation and asked them if they wanted to keep these players or substitute them. It's a constant confrontation between cheating and anti-cheating, said Dvorkovich, and gave a graphic example. We know about automated cheating, for instance, in Bullet. Initially, this was easy to detect because the piece was invariably put into the center of the square. What? Invariably? Wait, what does... Wait, what? Wait, so... I'm confused. Wait, they're saying that they're perfect mouse motions? Wait, are you saying that, like, DPI actually matters? Really? There's aimbot and... Wait. Sorry, give me a second. I need to think about that. They're saying... Somehow you have a bot that can place the square in the middle of the board? What? Wait, what? I'm so confused. That's insane. I actually had no idea. That's crazy. So that means, like, if I go back here, like, that means they would literally put this literally right in the middle of the square as opposed to like queen here or something. Like, that's insane. No, I don't think it's a translation error. I think he's actually being honest. I think that's actually honest. Wow, that's insane. That's crazy. That blows my mind. Wow. Okay, invariably puts into the center of the square, but now the machine has learned to place the piece in random parts of the square. Wow, I literally have no idea. I had no idea about this. Wow, this is insane. Actual chess aimbot. Oh my gosh, that's insane. Wow. I just had no idea. Online and classical chess. After 2 hours, Zubov ran out of questions and asked if Dvorkovich wanted to address anything else. The FIDE president was still agile and raised several issues. The promotion of women by aligning their world championship cycle with the men and providing more playing opportunities. The professionalization of organizers, arbiters, and coaches as a career path for retiring players. That chess in the schools should not be perceived as sport, but as a tool for improving the quality of education. I agree with him 100% on education. Dvorkovich also shared his position on online chess. Online chess is a very good addition, but there are more emotions and interests in traditional chess. Online chess will be with us, and we can gradually move towards real online rating, titles, World Cups, and Olympiads, but it doesn't replace classical chess. Nevertheless, we have to work out regulations, guidelines for organizers, and how to work with platforms. First and foremost, it means that chess becomes more available. Live tournaments, especially international ones, are costly. Online events are much cheaper. It's not only about play, but about learning, training, communicating. I don't want to replace classical with other time controls. Classical chess gives us a better understanding of what is happening on the board and is true chess. The faster controls have more sports elements and are more popular, but you don't have to choose. You have to organize both. Okay, most of that stuff I agree with. I mean, I think Dvorkovich is 100% wrong, though. I'll just say that. He's taking a very traditional approach towards chess when he talks about classical chess. The fact is, top-level classical tournaments are very expensive to organize. There is not much interest at the physical locales, and frankly, the draw rate is too high in classical chess. So I think he's actually wrong on that topic, and I will flat-out say that. I think he's just wrong on that. I mean, I think classical chess will always be around, but when you look at the ability of computers and opening preparation to basically lead to so many draws in classical chess, I think he's just wrong on that. So I will say that. Thank you to Thargons for the 2 months. What about an in-between like 30-15? 30-15 is rapid chess, so basically that's not classical chess. I mean, I kind of think that's totally fine. Dvorkovich is a chess player. I will say that. Dvorkovich, I don't know what his rating is, but he is a serious fan of the game of chess, which of course makes a big difference in terms of like, you know, having an opinion that is based on what is good for the game of chess. So I agree with most of it. Again, I think this notion about classical chess is sketchy. I think that's dreaming. If you hope that if classical chess will ever become as popular as it used to be, I don't think that's realistic. I think rapid chess, in terms of over the board, is 100% the future, and I think that's where chess is going down the road. So that's just my take. You don't have to agree with it, but that's just how I view it. Overall, though, pretty good interview. Most of the stuff is fine. I mean, there's something suspect about Dubov and talking about cheating and certain things that I'm aware of that I will not talk about when he starts referring to these things. So that's the last bit that I'm going to end with. Take that for what you will, but there's something bizarre about Dubov doing this. All right, let's move on. In other news, let's keep going. We have a tweet from Timur Rajabov. So let's pop this up. This is the next line. Okay, tired to watch all of these disputes about who will become the U.S. president. Stay calm. At real Donald Trump is going to win the elections. Hashtag U.S. election 2020. All right. First of all, to me, it's insane to make a comment like this, especially from someone who is outside of the U.S. I don't know if he's trying to alienate a large percentage of Americans or what he's trying to do, but I think it's just insane. That being said, remember the article I talked about on FIDE, which was about smart young grandmaster. So I like this tweet from Mr. Brandon Benton in regards to it. It says, "Thank you for helping dispel the notion that chess players have to be smart." Great reply by Mr. Brandon Benton. Again, what can I say? So yeah, there you guys go. Great reply from Mr. Brandon Benton, PhD. Oh, is that Dr. Chess Gremlin? That is. So yeah, what can I say? I mean, I think Timur is completely out of his mind. I don't know why he even made a tweet like this, really. I mean, just insane. Honestly, based on Timur's perspective as an Azeri, his attitude should be the other way. He should want Biden to win. Because as an Azeri and Azerbaijan being at war with Armenia, the large supporter of Armenia is, of course, Russia. And as people know, at least politically, if Joe Biden wins, we're probably going to be further separated from Russia and less cozy with them. So I don't know why Timur tweeted this. As an Azeri, he should be hoping the other thing happens. So there you guys go. All right. Anyway, sarcasm? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't see anything in here that says sarcasm. But that's that. All right, and then the last bit we're going to go is, this is going to be the real spicy topic everybody wants to see, which is, of course, about the Speed Chess Championship, the 100,000 Blitz tournament that is coming up, I think in October and November. Here is the tweet. And it is, Carlsen and Nakamura top the Elite Speed Chess Championship field. Palo Alto, California, October 20th, 2020. World Chess Champion, GM Magnus Carlsen. I don't know why they need to put GM. World Chess Champion, I think, already implies the GM, but whatever. Magnus Carlsen will play in the 2020 Speed Chess Championship main event, the world's most prestigious online speed chess tournament with a $100,000 prize fund. Carlsen's top rival in the event will be the reigning speed chess champion and current number 1 on the FIDE Blitz rankings, GMHikaru Nakamura. Carlsen and Nakamura will be joined by 14 of their highest ranked peers, including the world number 3 and 4 in Blitz, GM's Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Wesley So, as well as the previous World Chess Championship challenger, GM Fabiano Caruana. Speed chess fans will also be thrilled to see 17-year-old GM Alireza Firouzja compete. The talented Iranian defeated Carlsen in the Banter Blitz Cup final earlier this year. Thank you so much, Crunkle, for the 5. The talented Iranian defeated Carlsen in the Banter Blitz Cup final earlier this year, and only days ago he finished second in Norwich Chess to Carlsen. Okay, let's scroll down. The Speed Chess Championship main event begins November 1st, 2020, and will culminate in the Champions Weekend in December, with the semifinals on December 11th and 12th, and the final on December 13th. The full schedule with match dates and results will be available at speedchesschampionship.com as dates are confirmed. Fans will be able to follow the action live on chess.com/TV with expert commentary. They will also be able to follow it on my channel as well, you guys, so we will be doing some coverage of that too. Okay. Carlsen previously... sorry, I scrolled too far down. Carlsen previously won the 2017 Speed Chess Championship in a final against Nakamura. In 2016, Carlsen also won the Grandmaster Blitz battle against the American player. Nakamura convincingly won both the 2018 and 2019 Speed Chess Championships, but Carlsen did not compete in those years. In 2020, the rivalry between Carlsen and Nakamura intensified as each won dramatic match victories against each other in the Magnus Carlsen Tour, won by Carlsen in a finale against Nakamura that was decided only in the final Armageddon game. Another Carlsen-Nakamura final is indeed possible, as these two favorites will be on the opposing sides of the Speed Chess Championship bracket. Nakamura holds the number 1 seed, and Carlsen holds the number 2 seed as determined by the October 2020 FIDE Blitz ratings. Okay, but then it makes me wonder, how are they seeding in the players from the Title Tuesday Speed Chess? Are they seeding them based on rankings, or do they have a special seeding? Seems odd. Anyway, 2020 Speed Chess Championship. Maybe I'll watch a video. The 2020 Speed Chess Championship follows Chess.com's classic format: 3-hour matches consisting of 90 minutes of 5+1 Blitz, 60 minutes of 3+1 Blitz, and 30 minutes of 1+1 Blitz. More than 1.2 million people have watched the 2017 Speed Chess Championship final between Carlsen and Nakamura on YouTube. In addition to the aforementioned names of Carlsen, Nakamura, Vachier-Lagrave, So, Caruana, and Firouzja, the field includes invitees GM Jan Nepomniachtchi, Anish Giri, and Levon Aronian. The 16-year-old prodigy GM Nihal Sarin qualified as the winner of the Junior Speed Chess Championship and the Speed Chess Grand Prix. A 20-week qualification series held over the summer qualified 4 more players: GMs Vladislav Artemiev, Noderbek Abdusatorov, Parham Magsadoulou, and Haik Martirosyan. GM Vladimir Fedoseev qualified as the runner-up in the Super Swiss, a single elimination tournament held October 3rd to 4th, 2020. The Russian Grandmaster finished second in that event to Nakamura, who was already directly seeded into the main event as the reigning champion. The 16 participants will be the winner of the Speed Chess Championship. The 16th participant will be the winner of the Speed Chess Championship Invitational, a 16-player knockout tournament from which a winner will qualify. It will be held Sunday, October 25th, 2020, and has an $8,000 prize fund. Oh, that's so sad. They have an invitational. I can't play in that and win the first prize. I need more money. Oh, so sad. So sad. No Tigran. Right, good one. Anyway. Oh, that's a shame I can't play in the invitational. Anyway, all right, you guys. So what I'm going to say is, first of all, it's great to see Magnus playing. First and foremost, obviously, any event that Magnus is competing in is a major event. Now, that being said, I will give some honest takes here, which is, for the last 6 to 7 months, I would say that I've been pretty consistently attacked by Chess24, both publicly and privately in emails. I've received a lot of negative attention, whether it's Chess24 directly writing negative tweets at me, whether it's Tarjay or other people. I've had a lot of negativity, and that's a large part of why there's a very big mistrust between myself and Chess24. So to see Magnus now playing this event feels to me very hypocritical. And it feels like it's proving the point that I said, which is Chess24, when they got really angry at me for having a lot of people watching or starting streaming and popularizing chess, it seems to me that it's all very much in bad faith, because with Magnus now playing the Speed Chess Championship on chess.com, it sort of proves that everything they said was just in pure jealousy, and that they it was not based on fact. So to me, I find this very disappointing, to put it mildly, from that standpoint, because all Chess24 did for the last like 6 months was pretty much get angry at me for every last little thing possible. Even when we had spoken to them and asked for the right to broadcast on my channel, they literally got angry at me over every last little thing. And so now to see Magnus playing in this event, to me, kind of proves that at the end of the day I was in the right, and they really didn't know what they were doing. So I'm disappointed from that standpoint. But I will say it is good to see Magnus playing. They can maul all they want, but it basically proves the point. Like, they were getting mad at me, they're saying this and that, and now Magnus is playing on chess.com. So to me, this is not about Magnus, it's about the site itself. I think it's very disappointing. And it just proves the fact that at the end of the day, you know, they were completely wrong. So that's all that I really feel like saying in general terms. But as far as Magnus playing, it's great to see Magnus playing. So I do like that that Magnus is playing. I'm looking forward to competing. We'll see what happens, obviously.